can't be doing that hard today and not in the rain. Working hard in the rain.
You to different greens. You can actually cycle between the greens. So some of you will be like, how do you cycle? So you cycle by double tapping LB. See how it sent me to this green? If I double tap LB again, it goes to this green. If I double tap it again, it's going to take me to this green. So there's 4 different greens you can practice putting on. You have to double tap LB or RB on the controller. So this is the last LB one. So I have to double tap RB to go back to the other greens. So they all have a little bit different breaks, and you can practice whichever one you want to. We're going to practice for now on this green. This green is actually a good starting point if we're just working on distances and working on getting your control on the green. So when you're learning this game for this video purposes, I usually play on Master Plus difficulty setting, but for the purpose of this video, we're going to be using the distance control meter, so you can actually see and kind of see how it feels, and you can learn how to hit the game that way, because most of you will probably be playing on the Pro default matchmaking difficulty. That's what a lot of people play on. So one thing I want to add as well, when you're practicing, turn on auto mulligan to where you keep hitting the same putt over and over. You can hit B on the controller and move your ball wherever you want to on the green and hit A again to select that spot. But if you just want to keep working on the same read, make sure you turn on auto mulligan. If you don't, it'll take you to a different spot each time. So another thing I recommend, forgot to mention, I like to turn on unlimited putt preview to set your distance. This game automatically every time will set the distance for you. When you first load into a putt, is it always extremely accurate? No, but it is an aggressive, good holding speed. It's a lot of times on slow greens, it's a 1-to-1 ratio. You'll see it's 2 inches uphill. What I mean by that, 2 inches uphill, you add 2 feet to it. So 2 inches uphill, you add 2 feet. When you get to higher greens, it can actually change just a little bit, but I'm telling you, I'll stick to what the game gives you. It's actually really good. I played 30 hours so far on PC, 30 hours so far on Xbox. I'm on the Xbox right now. the game's default distance is really good. Downhill putts is the exception, and with downhill putts, you want to take off 2 to 3 feet on medium green. So if you're in the 1.3, 1.5, so 130 full speeds at the if it says 130 at the top of the screen, or 150s, you want to take off a little bit on downhill putts, like 2 to 3 feet. On 188s on downhill putts, you're going to want to take off a whole, but we're talking about 5 to 6 feet. You can do it by grid lines as well. You can do it by 2.5 grid lines or 3, but trust me, 188s, 17s, be very careful. But once you have the distance set, the game does that math for you a lot of the times. It comes down to reading the putt. So if you are not familiar, I know it's more designed for beginners. The grid lines are moving in the way that the green is sloped. So if the grid lines are moving to the right, that means it's a left to right slope. So the ball is going to roll left to right in this example. So if I hit a straight putt here, it's going to break to the right. That's what the grid lines were showing, right? And one thing I found on the Xbox Series X, grid lines are much easier to see. On PC version, grid lines are a little bit inconsistent. And I'm probably going to do a full tutorial for just PC players to learn how to read the break even when the grid's not moving. It's called a ghost break, and wow, does it happen all the time. You're going to hear that term when you're watching people play this game, ghost break. It happens a lot. But, so this is moving left to right. So basically, if the grid lines, the faster the grid lines are moving, the more it's going to break. You also have different colors. There's green, yellow. Yellow slopes are breaking a lot more. There's orange, which is like a yellowish orange. We can kind of see a yellowish orange if we take a look back here. So we have the yellowish orange grid lines, and there's red. You would not see a lot of red grid lines in this game where the pin is, because the green speeds are so much more realistic this year. So there's the red. Those things break a ton. So as we take a look at this putt, we already got our distance down. We're not going to mess with that. But what we're going to go to is take a look at how I read the break. So what I do is assign numbers to each grid line point. So each grid line on this game, so if we go to a grid line, this is 14 feet. Each grid line is about 3 feet long. So they're basically exactly 3 feet long. So this is exactly how I putt in real life. I separate the green into 3 feet segments, assign a number based on the break at each segment, and that's how much I aim to the left or right. In real life, I use ball links, but in this game, I use a click system, or flick of the stick is what I call it. So as we take a look, I'm going to go slow here. Remember, when you watch me play, you can watch all my videos. I have tons on the channel already. I am pretty quick. So what I do, we already know our distance, because you can move. My favorite way to do, instead of using right trigger and left trigger, you can do that. I think it's easier to aim, so I hit the Y button here, and then I use the left stick to aim all the way down at the ground, and now I'm going to move the right stick to change my distance to look at the grid. So I assign based on how quick it's moving and based on the slope. So the reason I like to do this, because you can see the bottom of the screen. You're learning this game. You see how the line at the bottom, you can see it on the left, you can't see it on the right. That means it's breaking left to right, right? That's it, the lines, we already know that because of how fast the line's moving. So what I would do, I would assign a number. This grid line is moving, it's kind of slow. I would assign a 4 in this situation. But then I would move to the next grid line. I'd say, okay, this is about the same. I would assign a 4. That's an 8. Then I'd go to the next one. I'm like, this grid line is about the same speed. That's a 4. So that's 12.
From Whistling Straits Golf Course on the shores of Lake Michigan, live second-round coverage of the Wisconsin Open. Things starting to slowly take shape here on this Friday. For some, it is a race for the top 5. For others, it's a fight to stick around for the weekend as we show you the leaderboard. We've currently got a tie at the top at 5 under par. So let's get out to it. We pick things up just before the turn at the par 4 main. Second shot straight ahead, and we go to Iona Stevens.
And it is a tough par 4 to finish this front nine. Being in this section of the fairway has opened up the green nicely, but beware of 7 Mile Creek that snakes its way down the right-hand side.
That's got to be disappointing. Good line fairway, and the approach winds up in a bunker.
Well, we've avoided 7 Mile Creek on the right-hand side, but it's a green that's defended by bunkers, and we're in the shallowest one, so tough to make a confident swing.
Believe it's going to stay out. Okay, he's finished off. And he's going to fall even further below par. So a disappointing end to the tournament for our featured golfer heading home following these 2 rounds after failing to make the cut.
Time for a little introspective look. What we did well, what we didn't.
EA Sports and the Corn Ferry Tour are proud to showcase the finest young golfers from around the globe. From Wolf Creek Golf Club in Mesquite, Nevada, live opening round coverage of the Desert Championship. This is going to be a compelling 4 days with a lot of storylines to follow as we move through the weekend and we take a look at the leaderboard here in round 1. We've got a tie at the top. We'll get out to the action here as we pick things up on the par 4 6th hole. That ball not wanting to cooperate, and it is into the hazard. So into week 2 now. That first tournament in many ways about dealing with the nerves. Your first ever professional tournament. Nota, what do you typically take away after that first week? You didn't put everything together to get your feet wet.
Certainly, and you have to look at the history of the Corn Ferry Tour. Many a player have struggled early in the year, but have still gone on to garner one of those spots in the top 25, which is critical at the year end. And this is just a learning experience. You got to pick and choose your moments when to be aggressive and when to stick to your guns. And in this particular case, got off to a slow start, and maybe this is a week they can build from.
Just too much juicy grass between the ball and the club face. It's always going to come up short out of that sort of lie.
be a tough shot coming up. Here at 7, this is second from off the fairway. This will be a 5-foot putt here. How does that go in? Three over par. We arrived now at the beautiful but treacherous par 3, another one of Wolf Creek's signature holes, playing a stout 248 yards over the creek that wraps around the green from front to back. Important to hit your mark here. That's starting to look like that's going to need a hold on. You really hate that, don't you? You hit the ball well, came off the club face solid, but a little too long, and into the hazard beyond the green. Tough break. Okay, so the drop made, and this will become his third at the par 3. That's going to move him back. 4 over. This is a good one to close out the front side. 390 yards, par 4. Yeah, you can hit the big one and just air it out. Set to round out the front side here at Wolf Creek with a par 4.
Fun hole for the big hitter, too. They can really take advantage of this. The last fairway bunker down there on the right side is just over 300 yards to get over. And longer hitters can nearly drive the green side bunker on the right. So just tee it up there. You're playing disc golf for a reason. Enjoy it. Just have a little flick in here. Chance too to get a little birdie at the end of your front line.
This game's not just about playing. It's about putting the ball in the right position. And that's what he's done. Really a good opportunity to make a birdie. Let's see what he can do from 87 yards, second shot.
That's a head stretch of that approach from relatively close in. I would have been looking at 10 to 15 feet.
This got there just a little wide of the mark. So starting the backside here at Wolf Creek with a 472-yard par 14. One of the rare, relatively flat tee shots. Lake and bunkers on the left, brush on the right.
but the landing area is wider than it looks, so anywhere on the short stuff is good. Ball above his feet here as he decides how to play his second. And that could need some work, but it'll end up okay. 19 feet away.